Virtual visits. This is Mike Stokoe. He's a cartoonist. What is a cartoon?
A cartoon is a silly drawing which makes people laugh, usually found in a newspaper or magazine, a greeting card.
How did you become a cartoonist?
I became a cartoonist literally after I graduated from college with animation. I'd always wanted to tell jokes. I'd always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and I think it's the best way actually. It's a good combination of art and being a comedian, drawing on paper and making people laugh. I started to send in my ideas to various publications like Punch magazine and Private Eye, with the hopes that they might have a space in their paper for them. More often than not, there was rejection after rejection after rejection, but one day it happened and I was published, and that ignited a flame. It's always been about fun, and you should always try and have fun when you're drawing and making cartoons. It's about tackling serious subjects and making people think twice about what they're reading. You can start cartooning at any age. My son is only 6 and this is what he produced. This is a cartoon about a Grand Prix. He drew this live during the race and put it on Twitter, and straight away it got plenty of interest.
Where do you get your ideas for cartoons from?
Usually I get my ideas from walking around town, or if I'm on the bus I'll engage in someone's conversation, and that basically will trigger off an idea, and that's the source of where the cartoon comes from. Subjects, they range from anything. Politics, I used to do a lot of stuff on politics. Now I basically aim more at the stupid, sort of silly stuff, whether it's trying to get your goldfish to sleep, if you just have to cycle with the goldfish bowl in your head, or anything really stupid. In society, things have changed a lot, so that is perfect subject matter for a cartoonist. The internet is rich pickings for things like jokes about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I can remember last year I was walking past a building site, and it had the sign "Heavy Plant Crossing." So straight away I thought of the London Garden Bridge, which has obviously giant trees and plants and all that, and I straight away converted that sign onto the London Garden Bridge, and that was a successful cartoon. Once I was queuing at an ice cream van, and I saw the sign "Large Cone," and I instantly thought of a traffic cone would be the largest cone you can have an ice cream in, and that's developed into a cartoon. Getting an idea for a cartoon usually comes at a very inconvenient time. Sometimes it's 3 in the morning when you're fast asleep, and you have to get your ideas book out, write down the gag. Sometimes you have to write in the dark because you don't want to wake anyone up in the room. But the ideas will come when you're cleaning your teeth, if you're sat in the toilet, or if you're feeding the dog. It'll always be when you don't expect it, you'll get the idea. I carry this ideas book around with me everywhere, and I'm lost without it. It's so important that I write everything down, because you're never going to remember a good idea. No matter how much you promise yourself you will remember a good idea when you're lying in bed at night, you'll never remember it in the morning. So you have to write it down. And more often than not, the good ideas will come when you're fast asleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you'll have 10 ideas. So I'm in the supermarket and I come up with an idea. Straight away I write it down in the book and go home and scribble it down on a piece of paper, and then I'll send it to a magazine, and hopefully it'll get published. That sounds all too easy. It isn't that easy really. The magazine might not like it, they might phone you up and ask you to change it slightly, or you might have to start again from scratch.
Where do your cartoons appear?
My cartoons appear in newspapers, magazines, or any kind of literature in any industry. For instance, here's one of mine here. I was asked to illustrate a competition for an oil company, in which the prize was an amazing trip to the American Daytona, and the cartoon appeared in a full-page advert for their catalogue.
Do you have to be able to draw to be a cartoonist?
No, you don't. Some of the funniest things I've ever seen have been drawings of stickmen.
What materials do you use to draw cartoons?
I use loads and loads of pens, as you can see here. I've got all kinds of pens. My favourites are the Sharpies, in all kinds of colours. And I use paper. This one's a fat one. This one's a thin one. This one's very thin for fine details. I can get different effects using different types of pens.
Which skills do you require to be a cartoonist?
Doodling is the start of cartooning. If you're sat on the phone or you're watching TV, pick up a pen, pick up some paper and just draw and have some fun. Creativity. Being taken into a world which is very funny, very strange and very silly. It's letting your imagination go wherever it wants to go, the crazier the better. On the computer, Photoshop skills are useful. I often use it to fill in backgrounds on cartoons. The first time I got a cartoon in a magazine was the greatest feeling in the world. Your cartoons could cheer someone up. If they're not very well or they're feeling a bit sad, why don't you go home and draw a cartoon for someone tonight?
Mike's skills list included creativity, doodling, and being imaginative. Creativity and being imaginative are really the same thing. It's about letting your mind wander to new and unusual places and mixing things up that might not normally go together. Doodling is the starting point for many amazing ideas. Let your pen or pencil go for a walk around some paper and see what happens. Thank you, Mike, for your virtual visit. Virtual Visits, bringing your school the skills for success.